Hi guys, this is Pam Araya, and I want to thank you for taking my Recovered Books and Watercolor workshop. I hope to have many more workshops with FLCC ArtSpace36. It's been a great experience, and I just want to show you how I go about taking my weekly exercises. I want to show you from the very beginning so that you can know what steps I take, and also to give you some inspiration for the following weeks where we don't meet. And later on this week we'll be meeting and making some abstract landscapes, playing with color and doing some color perspective. Alright, so let me show you how I do this. Okay, so what I have done is I have my idea book here, my new sketchbook, my recovered book, and I have cut up from the paper that I had in my kit those little tiny pieces of paper, and this is just going to be practice runs. I'm going to do some texture texture samples and some very simple watercolor landscapes. So what I would do is find the rougher part of the paper, which is the paper we want to use use our watercolor paint, and then I would just take my glue stick, and I know we went over this, but it's just helpful to look at it if you're at home. And I mean, it's fine when you're fresh off watching the video, but then sometimes you want to pick this up a couple of days later, a couple of weeks later, and you will always have this video to help you along. And I like to do this here, and then maybe I'll try one of the pink ones, which is not watercolor paper, but it's got some texture, so I'll use the texture side here. I'm not really worried about how they're spaced, because this is my idea book, and this is really just about experimentation and trying new things and being really relaxed and worried about the process. So in this one right here, I'm going to try just some texture. So in the first two, I'll just try some different textures. I'm going to use my just black ballpoint pen, and you can use anything you want. You can use a permanent marker so that it doesn't run for you. I don't mind my paint running, so I use a ballpoint pen. So I'm gonna grab the yellow here, and I'm gonna use my mixing area, grab some more paint. I'm gonna put some yellow down. And I'm just gonna stick with yellow for now. I'm just gonna spread the pigment, grab some more pigment here. I'm just gonna let that dry for now, just a little bit. Again, one of my tricks is if I have a page next to it, I can just dab it a little bit, and then you have like a little mark here. You can also grab a paper towel and dab some a little bit so that you can drag over. I'm gonna clean my brush, and I grab some of the green. Down. Grab more pigment. Just use some really quick brush work just to put paint down. Okay, so now that my paint is somewhat dry, I'm going to grab a little bit of my paper towel, and I'm going to dab it just to make sure I remove all the excess. Okay, so now that I have the paint down, then maybe I'll just do some scales. And this is just to practice all the possibilities with the paint, watercolor, and just trying ideas in your idea book, some different experimentation. Of course, you can try different sizes, different shapes. I tend to always move towards circular shapes, but that's like my favorite shape, I think. Circles. So maybe here I'll just do some stripes. Maybe just try little bit of an orange color. I'm using the thinner brush. I'm just gonna go over certain shapes. I don't know, just ones. Just seeing, you know, how the colors look together. And, you know, this is just the way you really become a good painter. It's just practicing. You know, practice really does make perfect. So the saying is true. So this is the best way to become a good painter, is just to practice. Okay, so pretty much done with this idea here. I'm gonna put some more green. Seems to have faded a little like that. This one, just have it. Do some circles. You can see how the ink runs into the watercolor, and I really like that effect. Gives it a really washy, rustic look. So that's kind of how I do my illustrations. They kind of have with that, you know, like rustic look. Then maybe after you put the ink down, you want to grab some more paint and just go over that. And just see how that reacts to the ink. And it'll give you really cool effects. Okay, and so now for this one, it is in the watercolor paper. So let's see. Maybe I'll just try. Let's see. I'm gonna draw it first. And then I'm just very lightly, maybe I'll do like some kind of mountain here. So I'll do like here, and then maybe towards the back to see how further away. This is probably all sky. So we want to start working from the back towards the front. So whatever is further away from you, you want to start working on that first. So I'm gonna also use the cool colors and using that color perspective, so that'll give us that perspective in the landscape. So I'm going to grab some purple and put down a light wash first. Really put down the water, and that's going to help you carry the pigment around. And I've never painted on this kind of paper. Interesting look. It's really absorbing the pigment, so I'm going to go in with some pure pigment so that I can get. So maybe it's like some kind of, you know, like sunset, so it gets really dark towards the top. I'm not sure if I'm going to achieve that right away because of the cut of the paper, but I'm going to use the pink to help me out a little bit, because sometimes it's like dark and then it starts to get pinkish and then maybe reddish. Just a little bit of orange towards the bottom, like where the sun is setting. Clean my brush and grab that orange, and hopefully it really pop out. Okay, that's pretty good. So that's really popping out there. I'm gonna help it out with some yellow so that we can use it. There we go. Alright, that's nice. And then maybe for the mountains, I will stay with the cool colors, and I'm gonna go and grab that Prussian blue. You can see it. Mix it in. And right here, we're kind of doing the color perspective backwards because we have the cooler colors towards the bottom. But usually if you look at mountain ranges and if the sun is setting, the mountain range itself is going to look really dark. So I might even go ahead and grab some black and just mix it in with the blue and the purple for this one mountain that is supposed to be closer to us. So that's going to give you the effect of being a sunset and having those mountains closer to you, and they're going to be at its darkest point, the sunset at the time. Alright, and then once the paint dries, then you can go ahead and go over with the darker color so that you have more of a definition. But I think this could give you a good idea on, you know, different experimentations in your idea book. And I'm going over outside of my paper, and that's okay because it's my idea book. Alright guys, thanks for watching.